We're in the middle of a market that is shifting right now. And during that time, everybody, including myself, is going to be asking the question, what is going on in the real estate market? That is the question that we're going to be answering today, and we're going to be looking at the comparison over the past month and compare that to what happened the same time last year and what happened during the previous couple months as well, just to start to see some trends there. Before we get started, make sure that you do like this video though, and make sure that you subscribe so you can receive more information and updates like this that's going to help you to make informed decisions in the future. Now, without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into how the real estate market has adjusted since the last time we did an update. We're going to go ahead and start out by looking at the overall comparison of Alaska, Anchorage, and the Matsu Valley from May 1st to the current time in June, and just see how that time compares to the previous time period of last year. And then we're going to compare that also with the previous months leading up to it, so we can start getting a more of a recent kind of a trend going for us as well. So overall for the inventory from May 1st to the current time last year is down 20% overall in Alaska. In Anchorage, the inventory is only down by 16%. And the Matsu Valley, it is down 14%. So what we're seeing is that the inventory is actually starting to catch up a little bit better in South Central Alaska, so that's good. For the number of overall new listings that are hitting the market from May 1st to the current time, compare this time this year to the previous year at the same time. We are down overall for the state by 10%. In Anchorage though, we're only down by 2%. And that's significant because it shows that a lot of people are more comfortable with getting their homes on the market now. So that's good. Also in the Matsu Valley, it's only down by 1%. So again, folks in the South Central Alaska are definitely a lot more comfortable with getting their homes on the market than maybe some people in the other parts of the state. So that's good. For the number of homes overall sold in Alaska, we're down by 21%. In Anchorage, during the time period from May 1st to the current time, compared to this time last year, we are down 22%, which just means that there are less homes that closed during that time, which kind of makes sense because we were all pretty hunkered down for a couple months during the pandemic. So that does make sense. And in the Matsu Valley, it is down by 17%. Now, something that I know a lot of people are going to be looking very closely at is going to be the sold price. Now, I've explained this before. I don't really like the sold price as much just because it can get thrown off by, maybe just everybody with mansions are selling their house at the same time, and it's going to artificially inflate the overall sold price just because it's an average. That being the case though, let's go and just look a little bit at it though, just might give us some context. Overall, the sold price is actually up by 4% overall for the state in Alaska. Again, from May 1st to the current time and compared to that same time period from last year. So that's good, that's a favorable sign. In Anchorage, it's up by 5%, okay? So again, pretty good indication. Just means that the overall volume of the homes being sold is going up, so that's favorable. And in the Matsu Valley, we're seeing an increase of 2% of the sale price of the properties that are being sold. So again, pretty favorable. I'm a little leery on relying just on the sold price though. Just like I said, it can get thrown off by any number of things. So it's good contextual information though. Now, looking at the list to sales ratio, this I personally look at a lot more as being authoritative, as being a reflection of what the market is doing, because it's saying how much of what I'm asking for as a seller am I actually getting. In other words, if I ask for $100, am I getting 80 back, or can I expect to get 90, 95 back? That's a really strong indicator how strong the market is. Right now, overall, for the entire state, we're seeing a drop of 1% over the course of May 1st to the current time compared to the previous year. So overall seeing a drop of 1%. Anchorage and the Matsu Valley are actually maintaining pretty strong at right around 99%. So that's a healthy indicator. It means that we haven't seen any huge price swings either direction. The bottom's not falling out of the market where suddenly buyers can just come in and expect to just undercut everybody and expect to get some success with that. So that's good. That's a strong indicator and it's a good sign moving forward. Is there any information in this report so far that has surprised you? Make sure that you comment that down below so that we can answer any questions that you might have. Or maybe you have a specific area that you would like to have a report on. Obviously, these are big picture overall views of what we're getting right here. And it's not going to dial down into a specific subdivision or an area, and each area is going to be impacted a little bit differently. So if you have a specific area, make sure you comment that down below. So from March 19th to around May, what we saw before is there was about a 24% drop in overall inventory. Now there is only a 20% drop in inventory. Kind of the big thing that caught my attention, kind of the previous months we saw leading up to May, we saw about a 28% drop in the number of new listings, which makes sense because we were right in the middle of a pandemic and hardly anybody wanted to put their homes on the market. It definitely wasn't something we wanted to do. And we're actually only seeing a 10% overall drop right now. To give you more context, Anchorage actually had a 26% drop in new listings during that time period, the months leading up to May during the pandemic, and now we're only seeing a 2% drop in the number of new listings. So that's favorable. Also, the Matsu Valley saw an 18% drop in inventory. Now it's just 1%. So we see a lot of new listings that are going to be coming on to the market just because everyone's more comfortable now, and we're kind of returning a little bit more to what looks like normal, whatever that looks like for us now. Now let's also look at the list to sales ratio, again from the months that we were in pandemic compared to the past month and May. Now overall for the state, we saw that we actually had again a 1% drop compared to the same time period the previous year from the months that we were kind of hunkered down. And that went from about 97 to 96%, okay? So we still see a 1% drop. The only difference is that now that we are, May to June, we're seeing a 98 to 97 instead of a 97 to 96. So that's a little bit more favorable. And we're actually seeing that Anchorage and the Matsu Valley maintained again right about 99% list to sales ratio. So even during the pandemic, the prices for homes stayed pretty consistent because the demand was pretty high. Thank you for watching. If this video has been useful, make sure that you give it a thumbs up and make sure that you subscribe so that you can receive more updates on how the real estate market is being impacted, and be happy to have you use this as a tool to keep yourself updated and keep you informed on all things real estate in South Central Alaska.